That is how long 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie has been missing from her home in Arizona. For more than a month and a half, investigators, family members, and volunteers have searched for answers. Police have examined security footage. They have questioned neighbors. They have searched the surrounding area again and again. And still, Nancy Guthrie has not been found. But now, new updates in the investigation are raising even more questions. Authorities say the FBI has recovered new photos from cameras on Nancy's property. Investigators have also made new decisions about the search operation. At the same time, several unusual discoveries have been made near the area where she disappeared. And in a troubling development, officials say the person responsible may still be out there. And today we look at the latest updates in the mysterious disappearance of Nancy Guthrie, now entering the 7th week of the investigation. Quick recap of the case. Before we talk about the newest developments, let's quickly remember how this case began. Nancy Guthrie lived in a quiet neighborhood near Tucson, Arizona. The area is known as the Catalina Foothills, a peaceful community with beautiful desert landscapes and quiet streets. Nancy was 84 years old. She was a mother, a grandmother, and a well-known member of her community. She is also the mother of television journalist Savannah Guthrie, one of the hosts of NBC's Today Show. According to her family, Nancy lived a very regular and predictable life. She had daily routines and activities that rarely changed. One of those routines was going to church. But something strange happened at the end of January. On the night of January 31st, Nancy was last known to be at her home. Nothing seemed unusual at the time. However, the next morning, something happened that immediately worried her family. Nancy did not show up for church. For many people, this might not seem unusual, but for Nancy, her family says this was extremely out of character. When they could not reach her, concern quickly turned into fear. Soon after, Nancy Guthrie was reported missing. At first, investigators considered the possibility that she may have left her home voluntarily or wandered away. But as police continued their investigation, something much more disturbing began to emerge. Authorities started to believe that Nancy may have been taken from her home against her will, evidence of a possible abduction. As investigators searched for clues, they discovered evidence suggesting someone may have approached Nancy's home before she disappeared. During the investigation, law enforcement released footage showing a person believed to be connected to the case. The footage reportedly showed an individual standing at Nancy's doorstep. Investigators have not revealed many details about the person seen in the footage. However, the discovery made the case much more serious. If someone had come to Nancy's home that night, it could mean she was the victim of a targeted crime. Authorities soon began to treat the case as a possible abduction. Police searched the surrounding area. Investigators reviewed hours of security camera footage from nearby homes and businesses. Officers also began speaking with neighbors in the area. Despite these efforts, Nancy was still nowhere to be found. Weeks passed, the investigation continued, and now, more than 6 weeks later, the search for Nancy Guthrie is still ongoing. Major update: FBI recovers new camera photos. One of the most recent developments in the case involves security cameras located on Nancy's property. According to investigators, the FBI has now recovered new photos from 3 different cameras around Nancy's home. These cameras may have recorded activity near the property around the time Nancy disappeared. Because of this, investigators hoped the images might show something important. For example, they hoped the photos might reveal a suspicious person near the house, a vehicle arriving or leaving the area, any unusual movement during the night. However, Authorities say the photos did not show anything clearly suspicious, and officials say the images do not reveal any obvious signs of criminal activity. Because of this, the FBI has said they do not plan to release the photos to the public. This decision has raised many questions. Some people believe the images may contain details investigators want to keep private. Others believe the photos may simply not contain useful information. For now, authorities say they will continue reviewing the images carefully to see if any new clues appear. Search changes. Cadaver dogs removed. Another important update involves the search operation itself. Earlier in the investigation, authorities used cadaver dogs as part of the search effort. Cadaver dogs are specially trained to detect the scent of human remains. They are often used in missing person cases when investigators believe a person may have died. These dogs searched areas near Nancy's home, as investigators tried to find any signs of where she might be. But now, authorities say those dogs are no longer actively being used in the search. The decision was confirmed by the Pima County Sheriff's Department. According to Sheriff Chris Nanos, the cadaver dogs have simply been put on hold for now. He explained that the dogs could still be used again in the future if investigators believe it is necessary. For many observers, this decision may suggest that investigators are shifting their focus to other parts of the case. However, officials have not confirmed exactly why the dogs were removed. The search for Nancy Guthrie is still active. Strange discovery. The glove. Another unusual clue appeared earlier in the investigation. At one point, investigators discovered a glove located nearly 2 miles away from Nancy's home. Because of its location, the glove was immediately treated as possible evidence. Investigators collected the item and began testing it for DNA. At first, many people believed the glove might belong to a suspect involved in Nancy's disappearance, but after testing was completed, authorities discovered something surprising. The DNA on the glove matched a restaurant employee who works near Nancy's neighborhood. Investigators say the employee has no connection to the case. The discovery turned out to be unrelated to Nancy's disappearance. However, authorities say that other gloves found in the area are still being tested at a private laboratory in Florida. Investigators hope those tests could still reveal new information. Another suspicious detail. Authorities also confirmed they are aware of a damaged utility box located near Nancy's home. Investigators have not explained exactly how the utility box was damaged. They also have not confirmed whether the damage is connected to the disappearance. However, any unusual activity near the home is being examined carefully. Even small details could eventually help investigators understand what happened that night. The ransom message. One of the most disturbing developments in the case involves a ransom message. According to reports, media outlet TMZ received an email connected to the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie. The message reportedly demanded a large amount of money in exchange for information or the safe return of Nancy. The ransom demand involved cryptocurrency rather than traditional payment methods. The message reportedly mentioned a dollar amount similar to $6 million. It also contained threats about what could happen if the ransom was not paid. Because of the serious nature of the message, TMZ immediately forwarded the email to the FBI. Investigators are now working to determine whether the message is genuine or simply a cruel hoax. Unfortunately, false ransom demands sometimes appear in high-profile cases. For now, authorities have not confirmed whether the message is connected to Nancy's disappearance. Warning from authorities. As the investigation continues into its 7th week, officials have issued a warning to the public. Sheriff Chris Nanos of the Pima County Sheriff's Department recently said, The person responsible for Nancy's disappearance could potentially strike again. This statement suggests investigators believe the suspect may still be active. Because of this possibility, authorities are encouraging people in the area to remain alert and report anything unusual. Police are also asking residents within a 2-mile radius of Nancy's home to review their security camera footage. Investigators are especially interested in any video recorded between January 1st and February 2nd that may show suspicious activity. Even small details could help solve the case. The family's message. Throughout the investigation, Nancy's family has continued to ask for public support and prayers. Nancy's daughter, Savannah Guthrie, has spoken publicly about the emotional impact of her mother's disappearance. At one point during the search, Savannah and other family members placed flowers outside Nancy's home, and it was a moment that showed both their sadness and their hope. Savannah later shared a message online thanking people for their support. She wrote that the family feels the love and prayers from people around the world. She also asked people not to stop hoping for Nancy's safe return. Despite the fear and uncertainty, the family continues to believe answers will eventually come. Reward for information. In an effort to encourage more tips, Nancy's family has announced a large reward. The family is offering $1 million for information that leads to Nancy's recovery. Authorities hope this reward will motivate anyone with information to come forward. Even someone who thinks their information is small or unimportant could help investigators. Anyone with information about Nancy Guthrie's disappearance is encouraged to contact the FBI. And investigators say even the smallest detail could help bring this case closer to being solved. The mystery continues. 7 weeks have now passed since Nancy Guthrie disappeared. Investigators have examined evidence. They have searched the area. They have followed multiple leads, yet the mystery remains unsolved. What happened inside Nancy's home that night? Who was the person seen near her doorstep? And where is Nancy Guthrie now? For her family, every week without answers is another painful reminder that she is still missing. But the search is not over. Authorities say the investigation is still active, and they remain determined to find the truth. Until then, one question continues to haunt everyone following the case. What really happened to Nancy Guthrie?